How we doing, guys? It's your boy, Artemis TGM. Yes, I know, I am real. I'm not an AI CIG bot. I am a person. If you recognise my name, it's it's because and you're a fan of Star Citizen. It's because I'm what you like to call a Star Citizen lurker. So it's more of like from the shadows, kind of support the game, invested in the game. You'll probably recognise my name from a lot of the content creators in their chats and super chats and stuff like that. And I do support a lot of the creators that push content for the game. Give feedback to CIG, but I'm not like a crazy nerd or anything. I'm just like your normie, like your average Joe. I'm not like crazy invested in the game. So yeah, and this will be my first like Star Citizen video. So creators I support are like Space Tomato, Salty Mike, Star Jump, and Foxy Loxy. I think those guys are doing an amazing job. They are doing something that I wish I could do, but I don't. Because I'm too busy working, grinding, or just not that totally invested in the game. But the feedback they give, CIG, is amazing, and they really give back to their community. So you will see me from time to time in their chats, dropping super chats and supporting those channels. Anyway, yeah, that's out of the way. You probably came across my video, my first ever Star Citizen video, because of the thumbnail. And it's a really cool ship, and you're probably wondering as well, with Star Citizen, where are all these cool ships that they had going on, that they had in concept, that they were designing? That, sorry if the audio is bad, by the way. It's kind of on the fly, so I'm definitely not a content creator. But I felt compelled to kind of get this video out there, have a little rant. So if you do have like a pair of headphones, it's more of like a podcast really. You can keep doing what you're doing, just listen to me in the background, see what you think, and we'll go from there. But what I would say is, the last 10 years I've been supporting the game, following the game, you could say quite passionately, and yeah, it's just something I've noticed like over the years with CIG and Star Citizen is it's basically the formula of the game. And what backers like me are really like playing the game for, or like supporting the game, invested in the game for. And I think CIG's kind of veered off from that focus, of what the gameplay is, and they've pushed like these mechanics and different things. Like they're trying to do like an FPS module, like first person shooter stuff. Look, well, I can go into all the different stuff that they're trying to go into, and they're getting very far away from the core mechanic of that, and like base building and crafting and all that jazz. The thing is, with a game like Star Citizen, if you've invested in the game and you've pledged to support CIG and that, you're not doing it to play like an FPS shooter. Let's be honest, guys. Like, let's not beat around the bush. If you want that experience, you go play Call of Duty. You go play a Call of Duty campaign. You'd have an actual like story and stuff to interact with. And you'd have the best PvP in the world. You ever played like a Call of Duty lobby or Apex Legends? Very smooth gunplay. That kind of experience that you're going to get. And it's updated, it's supported every year, every month with content updates, and there's a big player base. So no one's buying Star Citizen to play a first-person shooter. Base building, I get it, it's a big feature. Some people like it, some people don't. Some people really looking forward to it. Personally, I don't give a crap. If I wanted to start building bases, I'd go buy an RTS or some sort of strategy game, and then I'd build a proper base that has proper fleshed out base building mechanics, not what Star Citizen is going for. Sorry if it's a bit windy. So, you know, these things are, you know, off the table kind of thing for me anyway. I'm not buying, or I'm not pledging or supporting the game for those experiences. Now, one core experience that Star Citizen offers that no other game in the world, can you believe that, in the entire world, offers this experience. Not even Starfield, you know, that is from a big AAA studio, probably similar budgets when you think about it. And you're like, oh, that's not right, you know, Star Citizen has raised a lot more than Starfield's budget. Well, think about it. So Starfield was in development for 5-6 years. Probably they put about 250 million. I have to check up the actual numbers, but look at Star Citizen's funding from a 6-year period. You know, it's about the same, 250 million. So you can compare what you want and say, oh well, that development, that funding, blah blah blah. I'm not going to go into the detail, but the point is, Star Citizen has a core element that I think a lot of people are after as well, including me, and it's the ability to fly a really large, cool ship. Not too large, not fucking like Bengal size or crazy size. So just in the UK now, so there's a lot of you know, different dialects and stuff, as you know. But yeah, not crazy ridiculous size ships, but a very large, cool looking design and aesthetically pleasing ship. Yeah, and you want to use that ship, this large ship, to travel to another star system, and then when you get to that star system you want to travel to another planet, and you want to enter low orbit with your large ship. This is the kind of formula that we're going for. And from your large spaceship you want to deploy a medium size spaceship. So you've deployed your medium ship from your home ship, your large ship, and you're going to the planet's surface, and from you see where I'm going here, and from your medium ship you're deploying a ground vehicle to get to your objective, or wherever. It could be a kilometer away or whatever. And bearing in mind all these things that I've said, like the large ship, the medium ship, the ground vehicle, all look really cool, are designed very cool, and they're not gone off, like there's not like some sort of parameter that they've missed or missed a beat or anything. And then when you're in that ground vehicle, you go into your objective and you're doing whatever the frick the developers, CIG, have designed for you, which they call content, you know. So that could be repairing some dish, it could be going through some cave looking for a fucking body with a data pad for an hour, and then putting flares down so you don't get lost, and then coming back through that cave, backtracking, which is shit that they got rid of in Elder Scrolls like 20 years ago, but they still have it in CIG. I know it's testing and all that, just bear with me. And this is like a bit of a rant video as well. And it could be delivering a box or whatever, or, you know, doing some mining, FPS mining, salvaging, whatever. Maybe even story content if they can actually get it right. But the point is, that experience there, getting to that objective, it's one of a kind. There's no competitor out there. There's nothing that does the seamless transition, no loading screens or anything like that. And then obviously loading back up into your ground vehicle. Oh, a cute little sausage dog. They probably add pets to the game as well, but the thing is, where your ground vehicle, you're back in your medium vehicle, preferably a Valkyrie or something that looks good, and then you're taking your Valkyrie or your medium ship back to your large ship, and you've fulfilled and hopefully you get rewarded for that, not 4,000 credits like those fucking cave investigation missions from bloody 2018, 2019. Probably still in the game, to be fair, somewhere if you look hard enough. But hopefully they'll reward the player for that experience. And then you load back up to your large ship, and then you go to another planet, another contract, whether it's story content or something else. That is the core experience that I was looking for. And maybe a bit of like PvP, PvE, fighter gameplay, heavy fighter, light fighter gameplay, where you're escorting an org ship, something like that. But we'll get into that. I'm sure with the release of the Idris. I'm sure you guys are all have been having fun with that. But what I just mentioned though is that kind of core gameplay that I'm after, and I think CIG's really kind of lost focus of that, and they need to not rejig but kind of be a bit like self-aware of what players want and the experience that they're offering and the market out there, where I think about all the money, all of the development, all the budget that we've supported and that they've put into these different features and different gameplay elements, and you can just get that experience a lot better somewhere else. And that's why I've kind of like been busy like playing other games, like games that are finished, that are playable, to more polish, I should say, because even though Star Citizen is in its like testing era, it is still playable from time to time. But the main core aspect is CIG pursuing these different elements, and it's forgetting its core nature, why it draws players and why people love the core gameplay and what basically the game offers that none of its competitors do, or that you can't get anywhere else, because they can't start going after third person planet side content when you have something like GTA 6 that's coming out next year, where that's going to be the best kind of experience for that third person kind of story narrative, like shooting gameplay. And then you have like Arc Raiders, another game coming out. Helldivers 2 is a great one as well. Star Citizen is just not going to offer those kind of experiences, because those games have literally got all their budget, everything, all their developers focused on one primary aspect. Now CIG is it's got this massive chunk of butter, or should I say a small tiny bit of butter, and they're trying to spread it all over a fucking big tiger bread loaf, when they should just be focusing on one slice. I think Jared was trying to explain it on one of his streams and that, whatever he does, but it's not really ideal, especially for long-term supporters of the project or backers like me, because I fucking love Star Citizen, and it is my retirement plan. In 5, maybe 10 years, I want to be sat at my fucking gaming PC, $4,000, $5,000, whatever you need to spend to fucking run the game by then, smoothly, at 120 frames. And if they finish bloody supporting the network, but that will be my retirement plan. So I'm watching. It's like watching your investment dwindle. Like they're so close as well. Honestly, they keep trying to like fuck up their own project. I swear to God, because they get so close to what players want. It's the dream game you want, and then they will do something controversial, like the Blades or whatever, or a fucking ATLST, or features that just no one's really asked for. Let's be honest, no one's really cares about that. Don't get me wrong, turret blades are going to be awesome if they don't botch up the turret AI blades, so you have remote gunners that are computers instead of like some nerd, some like real player. Who the hell wants a real player in your ship when you could just have an AI turret? And you have to ask yourself, have you ever been like a gunner in a big ship before? It's not fun. That's not gameplay to me. You just stood there like, oh my god, it's brain dead. It's you want to have some sort of AI doing stuff like that, controlling remote turrets. Being a